so I'm not a hardcore fan of Sevendust, but I do like some of their songs, and I did like their last album, Truth Killer, so I was curious to see what they could do with this new record entitled One. So did it deliver? Well, let's discuss and find out. Track 1, title track. So, this might be one of my favorites off the album, which is rare for not only a title track, but the opening track of a record. But why I like it so much is the really good riff, the key, and Lejon Witherspoon's vocals in the verses. And the chorus is so damn good, so I would say it's a really good song. Track 2, Unbreakable. Okay, so this is the second single, and it isn't half bad. The riff and melody is good, and Lejon's vocals are, of course, pretty good, and Morgan Rose's vocals are also on point, so I'm gonna say it's a pretty good song. Track 3, Is This the Real You? Okay, so this is the first single, and this might be another one of my favorite songs on the album, because the rhythm and riff are really catchy, especially with Lejon's vocals and Morgan's screams in the second pre-chorus and the bridge. The chorus is also good, and I like the harmonies in the verses, so I would say this is a really good track. Track 4, Threshold. Alright, so this is the third single, and while it's not my favorite single, it's still not a bad song. Even if it does sound a little similar to track 2, but it does have a good riff, and while Lejon's vocals are good, Morgan's vocals are also still good, but not as good as track 3, so I'm gonna say it's a good song. Track 5, We Won. So this song has good verses, and I do like the riff in the chorus, but Lejon's vocals in the chorus, as well as the lyrics, aren't doing it for me, which hold the song back a bit. But the rest of the track is not bad, so I would say it's a decent song. Track 6, Construct. Okay, so this is the fourth and final single, and it's, in my opinion, not only the weakest single, but is also the weakest song so far. The melody doesn't really do it for me, and the riff is not great. I don't really know why it was chosen as a single, to be honest, but it's not the worst song ever, so I would say it's a mid song. Track 7, Brightside. Alright, so this song has a good melody and a decent riff, and even Lejon's vocals are, of course, good, but this track doesn't really do much to stand out, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Just not one of my favorites on the record, so I'm gonna say it's a decent song. Track 8, The Drop. So, this track kicks off with a good heavy riff, and the verses are pretty catchy. However, the chorus, not so much, because I'm not a fan of the key change in the chorus, and the melody of it is not as catchy as the verses. But the vocals are still on point, and those verses keep this from being a bad track, so I would say it's another decent song. Track 9, Blood Price. Alright, so this song has a pretty heavy riff that sounds good, and once again, Morgan's screams are a major highlight here. As for the rest of the track, well, the verses are good, but the chorus is at best decent, so I'm gonna say it's a good song. Track 10, Misdirection. So now we've reached the 10th and final song on the album, and it's also the longest song on here. And I kinda like how the song slowly builds up, and then when the riff comes in, it's a good one. Even the vocals get louder as it goes on, and it's not half bad. While it's not a favorite of mine, it's definitely not a bad song. and not a bad way to close the album, so I would say it's a good song. Okay, so in conclusion, this album had its ups and downs, but almost every album is gonna have that. And I'm at least glad it didn't completely fall flat on its face, 'cause there are some good songs on here. But with that being said, my final rating is a 7.5 out of 10, just good. But that is going to do it for today, and whatever thoughts you have about this album or review, be sure and leave it down in the comments. And as always, I will see you all next time.